What's up, everyone? Tara Roberts here with 444, and we are talking running back trade targets for week 2. Before we get started, be sure to like this video and subscribe. And if you want more fantasy insights and tips, head over to 444.com/plans and sign up for a subscription today. And exclusive for our YouTube audience, use promo code YouTube at checkout to save 25%. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. First up, Isiah Pacheco. So I saw exactly what I needed to see with Isiah Pacheco this week. I saw targets. That is what I needed to see. And while Pacheco's 4 week 1 receptions might not seem like a big deal, it is a fantastic sign. But the Pacheco manager in your league could be feeling a little bit underwhelmed by his week 1 performance, which is fair, because it was definitely underwhelming with just 8 carries for 23 yards and those 4 receptions for 31 yards, less than 10 fantasy points in PPR. Or perhaps they're a bit frightened because Clyde Edwards-Helaire got the first carry of the game and had some involvement throughout the game, but ultimately, Pacheco is the superior back in this backfield and had the highest snap count of all the backs and will be the most productive back in Kansas City when they get back on track. Now next up, James Conner. I was big on James Conner all offseason, loving him as the perfect RB2 at his ADP. And while his week 1 production was modest, I don't really expect him to be productive in this matchup. Washington has a formidable defense. The fact that Conner managed 62 yards on his 14 carries is not actually bad. It's actually in line with his average yards per carry last year. With Conner, I love him, and you should too, because he is the only running back in Arizona. We can get cute and say there's potential with Keontae Ingram, but there's not. He had 5 attempts for -4 yards. That is not a threat. This is James Conner's backfield, and win or lose, he will produce. If they are competitive, he will thrive on the ground with volume. If they struggle, he'll still get volume, but he gets the added bonus of receptions. This performance from Conner was his floor. Buy him now at his floor. Reality check. Despite all the positive news that we heard directly from Denver around Javonte Williams' truly miraculous recovery, there was very little chance that he was going to be getting the lion's share of the workload in this game. He saw some preseason work, and that's great, but he still needs to be eased back into live game action more. And that's exactly what we saw. We saw a split backfield with Samaje Perine. They had an equal share of snaps. And despite some last-minute rumors that backfield was just Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine, Javonte had 13 carries for 52 yards and 4 receptions on 6 targets for 5 yards. That's a great start. Expect this to remain a 2-back system for the remainder of the season because that is what we've seen Sean Payton do in the past. But expect Javonte to be very productive in a bigger role. You are trading for an RB3 that should definitely be an RB3 and has RB1 upside. This is a good deal. And with this last running back, Rhamondre Stevenson. Now is a good time to take advantage of the fear of Ezekiel Elliott. Because if your league mates were just looking at the box score, they might be a little scared of this Patriots backfield. Let's go through the stats. Rhamondre Stevenson had 12 carries for 25 yards and 6 receptions on 6 targets for 64 yards. Ezekiel Elliott had 7 carries for 29 yards and caught 5 of 7 targets for 14 yards, and he did fumble 1 time. It appears to be very split. But the snap count actually tells another story. Stevenson played 73% of snaps. Ezekiel Elliott only played 35%. Ty Montgomery had 9%. That's very different from the aforementioned split in the Denver backfield. Stevenson is still the clear lead back here, and that was a difficult matchup. We should see more productivity on the ground in terms of yardage, and if he can retain that receiving work, you have got yourself a solid RB1. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like the video and comment below, and if you want more fantasy insights and tips, head over to 444.com/plans and sign up for a subscription today. And exclusive for our YouTube audience, use promo code YouTube at checkout to save 25%.